lost in the debate in this country about whether we should have cell phones and tablets for kids to use in schools, whether they should be permitted to use, or what we should do about AI. Lost is the impact of the reality of whatever we do in our schools. The kids are still using this technology, and it is having a profound impact on brain development. That's the issue I think that is missing, that we need to focus on. Now, I'm not trying to take a position on cell phones in schools. I'm not taking a position on AI in schools, but I am taking a position that kids indeed are going to be using this technology. And what we're finding is that intensive use of technology by kids is impacting brain development, because as you all know, the brain is a muscle. And research headed by a number of groups, and Linda Darling Hammond out of Stanford is probably the best single source on this. And Linda Jordan, one of our senior consultants, is really turned into a national expert on it. What we're finding is that in the middle of the brain is something called the hippocampus. And the front of the brain is called the prefrontal cortex. And the hippocampus is the roots to the prefrontal cortex, kind of like in nature, a tree. The roots of the tree are key to the trunk of the tree. And if the roots of the tree become compromised, the trunk of the tree becomes compromised. And indeed, that's what's happening. Because let me give you the example. I fly a lot. I fly into an airport, get in a rent-a-car, got to go somewhere. I have no idea, because I've never been there before, exactly how to get there. You know what I do? I go to GPS. And when I get to my destination, I have no idea what towns I went through, what roads I went down. I follow GPS. What would I have done before there was GPS? I would have taken out a map and I would have studied it. And I would have developed mental mapping. I would develop a series of skills that I no longer are developing. So what they're finding in adults like us is our hippocampus is shrinking because we're not using it. But the very technology the kids interact with, including the gaming, is using the same technological application. So today's kids' hippocampuses are a fraction of the size of kids in the past. But it's no big deal because we don't need it, because we got the technology, people think. But it is a big deal because it is that foundation to the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex includes things like problem solving, decision making, the ability to focus. And their prefrontal cortex is thinning. And virtually every classroom teacher will tell you today's kids don't have the ability to focus. They don't have that resiliency. They don't have the problem solving, decision making skills, all tied to that prefrontal cortex. The other issue is the prefrontal cortex is responsible for long-term memory. Any of you noticing any problems with long-term memory? Are you noticing our kids seem to be increasingly lacking long-term memory? It's all about brain development. In the schools we're working with, and our consultant teams are finding, what you have to do is now provide students, as part of their instructional programs, experiences that indeed develop problem-solving skills and decision-making and resilience. You've got to provide experiences that strengthen and grow the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. It's really our fastest growing number of requests across the country. I hope you begin to think about that and recognize, yes, there are issues about cell phones. Yes, there are issues about AI. Kids are still going to use it. It's impacting brain development. And we need to adjust our instructional programs to begin to develop those skills that our kids not only need, but increasingly are lacking. Hope this information's been helpful to you.